So, there's something very interesting. I'm now talking about Maheshwarnath Babaji, whose picture is there with a blue color. Well, he was not blue. The artist who helped me to get his picture, so I'm going to tell you why there is no photograph. Picture, he was a great devotee of Krishna, so he made it into blue, but actually he was very fair. If he walked today in Finland, anybody would have thought he was European. He was very fair. So, sometimes I even suspected maybe he's from Europe, who knows. But he was very fair, and he had matted hair which was like, you see, dark brown. So, anyway, I think he was from Kashmir, but let us not speculate. He never said, and I never asked. So, Babaji, when I was with him, I noticed that he was very much against photographs. He did not like people photograph. I tried that in the beginning, but I gave up. But he was very strict, no photograph. And he knew that I paint sometimes. I'm not a professional, but I'm okay. I like the Himalayas. Sometimes I paint portraits. So he knew that, and he told me, no pictures of me, no. Okay. I said, all right. Then one day we were passing in Rishikesh near a studio, a photo studio. So I got this, I was very young. I was only 19 and a half years old. So I said, Babaji, there's a studio here. What, for me? No. Okay. Then I thought, what is this man? Let's take a picture without his knowledge. More out of affection and love for him. I wanted to keep something with me. Even though he was there, I said, who knows, in his mood is all the time different. He might suddenly say, okay, pack up and go. So then I at least have a photographer. So I tried very hard. I decided that I will somehow take his picture. So, anybody has gone to Rishikesh? Yeah? You haven't? Rishikesh? No. Okay. Rishikesh is the beginning of the Himalayas. It is the foothills. They're called the Shivaliks, and then from there you go up. There is no snow in Rishikesh. You have to go further up. So, we were camping in Rishikesh at that time, in the cave. You can see the cave, it's still there. It's called Moni Baba's cave. About 2 kilometers from Rishikesh, there is a place called Lakshman Jhula, which is a suspension bridge across the Ganga, and a small town, some ashrams, beautiful. So if you anytime go that side to Lakshman Jhula from Rishikesh, and if you crossing the river on the bridge, you will find many photographers standing there with cameras. So they take your picture, you pay them the money, and in 2 hours you will get your photograph. Or if you have a phone, they will immediately give it to you, digital. In those days it was like you had to wait for the next day for the picture. So I became very friendly with one of the young photographers, a boy from the hills, and I developed friendship, bought him a cup of tea, we had long chats, and I told him, look, I want you to do me a favor. He said, what? He said, every evening, see, when the river Ganga flows, There are ashrams on that side, and then the hills start, and there are ashrams on this side, and there is a road in between. So, in those days there was no bridge. Now there is a bridge. You have to come in the boat from that side. If you are living that side, you come in the boat. If you are living this side, you go by boat. So I told him, there is an old ashram there, and nobody is there now. There are steps towards the river where people go to have a dip. So Babaji's favorite place, because there's hardly anybody around. Have you heard of Swami Shivananda Saraswati in Rishikesh? No. He had it's called the Divine Life Society. He used to teach yoga asanas and pranayama. He used to live there, but then he died. He passed away. So it's kept there. So Babaji's favorite place for teaching in the evening. Get a boat, come this side, sit there near the steps, and then I learned many things there. Many things. Even without thinking I am learning, I learned. Just by talking, just by. And also all the Upanishads and everything. There was no need of books because he had them all here recorded. So that was his favorite place. So every evening we used to come, sit there. Sometimes we used to just chat, talk about many things. Anyway, we used to go and sit there and talk and chat and look at the boats and people coming and going. Sometimes it would be interesting because a young married couple come, they're crossing the boat. And Babaji used to tell me, see how happy they look. I said, yes. Then he said, how long do you think this will last? I don't know. Anyway, we had fun. So I told him, to this photographer boy, his name was Raghu. I told him, look, you go to the other side in the evening, okay, and get into one of the boats that come with people, any one of the boats, and then you cross. While you are in the boat still, you start taking picture here, there. Don't show that you know me, okay? We don't know each other, we are strangers. Take pictures, some here, there, then. In the meantime, I will be sitting there with this man, this yogi, with hair. So quickly, you also click us. No, otherwise there is no way out. I said, you first take some picture here, then you click us and don't smile at me. And then you go, okay? Okay. I said, I'll give you 50 rupees. Okay. Then, that evening, I was worried that maybe Babaji knows this fellow, something is happening, so today he may not go. If he says, today we are not going that side, then it's over. So waiting, last minute Babaji said, let's go. In Hindi he said, chalo chalte hain, let us go. So we got into one boat, there were other people also, then we came this side, got off the boat and we sat down. And he was talking about something. That day he was talking about an Upanishad, how old it is and what it actually means and so on. I was listening very intently. Meanwhile, I was looking on all the boats coming, this fellow is coming. He stopped. You look quite distracted. No. I said, I'm okay. And every boat that came, I'm looking. And then it became slightly dark. So now if he comes, how can you take a picture? I mean, it's not going to work. So I was feeling a little worried. Even now if he comes, he can get some picture. No, two boats came, no sign of photographer, no Raghu. I was seriously thinking, now what? Babaji said, wake up. He said that your photographer Raghu is not coming, I got so worried and so sad that I had done a trick to get his photograph. I actually cried. I said, Babaji, I'm very sorry. I'll never do anything like that. I think you know before I know what I'm thinking, so it's over. I will never do that. That's okay. He said, doesn't matter. Young age, people do many things. No. So I left it there. Okay. That day, he gave me a very good talk on the methods of photography. In those days, he said how a photograph works and how it is developed and how it is enlarged and film cameras. And then he said, you know how the camera works? I said, yeah, I have some idea how it works. Okay. He said, you have a lens and you have a film. Those days only film cameras. You have a film. So the light comes from the sun and hits the object and it gets reflected through the lens and into the film. This is the image you get in the camera. I said, yes, okay. So he said, suppose somebody can stop the light rays from reflecting back, then can you take a photograph? No. I said, but this is not possible because the sunlight falls everywhere, it reflects. I cannot say I am not allowing it to reflect, it's not possible. He said, it is possible. How? I said, it is possible. And he said, suppose your man had come, suppose, and he had actually taken my photograph. And I did not allow the light that falls on me to go back to the lens, reflect, then would you get a picture? I said, no, but that's not possible. Scientifically not possible. Really? He said, okay, look at me, he said, suddenly. I looked at him. He was sitting near the steps on this side. For maybe 1 second, I couldn't see him. There was only one dark outline like a silhouette. Right? Then it was back. Then Babaji asked me, did you smoke cannabis? I said, no. Then what did you see just? I said, I saw you were not there for a second. He said, I was there. But the light was not going back from me. It is absorbed in me. It was not reflected. So you didn't see me. So even if your cameraman had come, I could have done this trick and you couldn't got your picture. I said, okay, thank you. I will not do it again. I left it there. Several years later, Babaji had his samadhi. He passed away. I said, now maybe this rule does not stand. Because many years have passed. If I have a picture, I can keep it with me. So I think he must have withdrawn the rule by now. No way to ask. So I said, all right. I took a drawing board, fixed a drawing, nice paper on it, white paper. And then I also do paintings with black Chinese ink, Indian ink and brush, only black. So I used that and made a nice outline of it. It was very nice. I liked it. I said, looks somewhat like him. And then it was noon time, I finished. My bedroom is upstairs, so I came down. Outside the house there is a veranda, open. It has no walls, only roof, open. You know what is a veranda? So there because it needs to dry, little airing is required. So it was May. You know how hot it is in May. In May it's very hot. There is no rain, there is nothing. I kept the board like this for airing and I went and had my lunch and went to sleep. I took a short nap. I woke up from the nap with lot of thunder and lightning and I'm thinking, am I dreaming? Because in May it doesn't rain in Madnapalli. Not so much of a thunderstorm, like it may drizzle a little bit, but how is it raining? Then I suddenly remembered I have a picture down which is open, you know. I came running down, rushing down, opened the door. Finished, all wiped out. The rain came and the wind hit, and the whole thing, only some blotches of black. So I said, I think the rule applies even now. Let's not do it. Forgot it. And then several years passed. Babaji had told me, you have to write your autobiography. I was trying to put it off, but I said, why write? Put it off. Then a time came when the weight was too much for me to carry all this in my head. I said, I have to put it down on paper, you know, so that I can become light. I'm carrying this for so many years in my head. So I started writing my autobiography. It took me 2-3 years to do it because I have to sit somewhere and write it. And that work, school was being set up. So anyhow, I finished the book in around 3 years' time. Then, now, in the book, there's so much reference to Vaishwanath Babaji. So people who read it are going to ask, where is he? Who is he? We don't see anything. Are you imagining? Where is this? And no photograph. So I said, now I am sure Babaji must have removed the strictures. So he said to write the autobiography. When I read that, I need his picture, something I need. I can't write. Because Sri Guru Babaji's picture I got already. So I thought, okay, by the time our school was on, the boarding school, and we had a professional artist there. So I went to him and I said, sit down, I will draw a picture, can you put it in the computer for me? Then I will look at it, and then if I need to change a little bit, you can help me. He said, okay. So 3 days we worked, 1 hour every day. And then finally, when he put this for me, it's the nearest you can go. I said, that's nice, this is okay now. So we approved it. I sent it to the publisher, printer and publisher. And so this is how it is. And the man was he made it blue. Now I don't want to change it. So I sent there. But I was still worried. Once in 2 days, I used to ring up the printer and ask, the photo is there in the file? He thought I was mad, crazy. He said, it's there in the file. I said, no, why are you asking? No, I said, nothing. Because I thought, Babaji decided, pull it out. Anyway, so that's how it came in the book. So this is the picture we have. So this is the story of Babaji's picture.